Hello, and welcome to Two Girls in a Pod. I am Sharon.
I am Christy.
Oh my goodness, we had such a fun weekend, I tell you.
We did.
And one of the things is that as we were talking about what we wanted this episode to be about, we said this weekend was so fun and it taught us so much, I think, and it was so much in alignment with the things that we talk about, connectivity, finding your interest, those connections and why they're important.
Yeah, and I think that is what we took away from it. Some really great connections. And so focusing on that.
So we spent the weekend in Estes Park.
Yes.
Fantastic. If you have not been to Estes Park, it is beautiful. It is really this beautiful, beautiful place. And it has, to me, I just love the feel of it.
Yeah, I do too. It's absolutely gorgeous. But we had a special reason to be there this weekend. It was Bigfoot Days again. We attended last year, so this was our second year.
We attended last year and we really had a great time, but when you're attending something for the first time, you're trying to learn to navigate it and do all that. So I feel like you're not as present, which we kind of talked a little bit about.
Yeah, which I mean, we had a great time last year too.
Oh, absolutely.
But we were so focused on the schedule and where we needed to be to hear the talks that we wanted to hear and attend the events that we wanted to. So yeah.
And I think this year so it was a little bit more relaxed, so, and I felt like it was more of an old pro.
Well, it felt
we at
like,
least knew where we had to go.
Yeah. And I really just felt like that we just took the time to spend enjoying the moment.
Absolutely. And when we talk about being present, because that's another thing that we really promote, is how do you be present in those moments? Because sometimes I think that we're so busy worried about what the next event is or what the next thing is that we're not present in the moment because we're too busy trying to get to the next thing. And I think we really did well at this one where we just stayed present.
It doesn't mean it's a negative or anything like that either, because a lot of people, are thinking about all the responsibilities that they have. So your brain is going on, what do I need to do next?
Absolutely.
It takes away from the experience, I think.
Once again, it was a fabulous time. And so we thought, we're going to talk a little bit about that today because, one of the things I found that I really, really loved about this year was the amount of Indigenous people that attended. And we met some Lakota, Sioux, Apache, Ute, and then a couple of other from the nations up more northwest and things like. But I am telling you, there was such a great representation, and it felt so good to experience that and to be around that. You know what I mean?
Yes. And one of the really cool things about it was, just sharing their take on the whole Bigfoot thing. That was really cool, just to be a part of that and hear some of their ideas about it.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things is there was such a cool feel about it, people wanting to sit and to listen, whether you were a believer or not a believer, it didn't really matter. The only thing that mattered was the conversations that were taking place and the experiences that people were sharing, which we love because our podcast is about people's journey, what their belief is. We don't have to believe everything other people believe, but when we pause and we listen to those conversations and we learn from them, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's what I feel like that we took away from this. It was so much more than being about whether Bigfoot is real or whether he has been found. I just think that it was such an enriching experience just because of the conversations had and the connections made.
Absolutely. And one of the things is we for anybody who doesn't know, Renee Holland was on Finding Bigfoot. She's a biologist and she really is about conservation and stuff. But when we went to her talk, that was really something that she said. It was about not being divided, but being able to listen and to learn and to understand. It doesn't matter whether you think Bigfoot is some organic thing, if it's interdimensional, if it's, spiritual, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the conversations are happening and being respectful of those conversations.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed her talk on that.
Yeah, because she had a really good focus on talking about how there's so many differing opinions nowadays, and it doesn't matter what it's about. It's, in all aspects, people are really staunch in their belief about something, and there's nothing wrong with that piece of it, but hearing people out. And she talked about that connectivity piece and how important that is to hear the conversations between each other. Don't let all of these things drive us apart. Let us, learn from one another.
And I thought the other interesting thing she talked about was the fact that when she met with the indigenous people, her thing of being very respectful,
Mhm.
getting their blessing, listening to them,
Mhm.
and that deep respect she has for the indigenous people. I really enjoyed. Like I said, I really enjoyed this. And then, of course, we got to meet and talk with Russell Acord from Bigfoot Expedition and Ronnie LeBlanc. If you have not watched it, you guys, you watch it. It's fun.
Great show.
And not
Yeah.
only that, these are some really great human beings who are doing some really good
Yes.
stuff,
Yeah.
and everybody has their story, why they get into things, why is this an interest? I'm
Mhm.
just happy they have an interest, and by golly, they're doing it.
Right.
And it's been pretty successful for them too. So
Yeah.
that's always a good thing as well. So I think those things, there are so many things like that, we got to take away from that. And, one of the things is even on this podcast, I talk a lot about my being Latina and part of that Latin community. But the other part of me is I am part of the indigenous community as well. And so it felt really comfortable for me.
Mhm.
I talked with you about that afterwards. I said, oh my God, that just felt comfortable. I really liked being able to connect. And we connected with some really great people there. I'm telling you, numbers were exchanged, conversations were exchanged. And it became one of those things that was just so valuable. And I thought was really cool is Ken, they call him Kenny. We did a podcast with him.
Yeah, it's been a few episodes ago, but Ken Collins.
We didn't, and you know what I loved about him too? Is that his energy for this, but it wasn't just that, it's his energy for the community, it's his energy for the connections that he made. As soon as he saw us, oh my goodness, just super friendly,
Yeah.
just so friendly, really just engaging with us. We sat at his table, all of these things that were just, you felt like you were welcome back into a community.
Exactly. And that is a huge piece, I think, even for our mental well-being, and that whole sense of community. And that's one of the reasons that we decided to do this topic today, even though it was around the Bigfoot days, but it was so much more about the connection piece of it. And so we decided, about finding your tribe.
Yes, and I think we might have found some of our tribe in this, because
Yeah.
they are so welcoming. And when you get there, just the conversations and the different walks of life, everybody, they're out there living their life, doing their stuff and everything. But the commonality, of course, is Bigfoot real? Is he not real? They don't even care. They just are there to talk about the fact that whether it's an experience or being respectful of other people's experiences and stuff. And I found it extremely enjoyable, man.
Mhm. It's unique in the fact that people are sharing these kind of stories that a lot of people would look at them and think, "Yeah, okay, you're absolutely crazy," but they, are in an environment where they can share those stories and say, "Hey, I don't know what I saw or whatever, but here's these experiences," and to feel comfortable enough to do that.
To feel like you found a tribe.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think, and I think the cool thing is that we have many tribes.
Yeah.
You can be a part of many tribes. I have one of my clients who's Native American, he's Cheyenne, and he's always telling me, Sharon, find your tribe. Sharon, find your native tribe. I think you'd be happy to know that I'm getting, like I said, engaging with the other indigenous people there it just felt comfortable. It just felt muy gente. It felt muy, very familiar, very friendly. And
Very personable.
yes, very much enjoyed that. And it was, and it's a community that I think that I'm really happy we stumbled upon.
Yeah.
Because it is. And, and once again, it doesn't matter what your belief is.
It's an environment that you are able to, like I said, share those kind of experiences where that you may feel vulnerable sharing those stories. It was okay, and I think that that is the biggest piece, just, embracing people for who they are and understanding you may not agree about something, but just to know that you can have those conversations is a huge deal.
The other thing that I thought was really cool is they really are about the kids.
Oh, yeah.
It was fab. They are. And, Renee Holland is, Ken is, a lot of them. It really is about the kids and letting them have their imagination and participate. And
Well, and encouraging them to get out in the environment and learn and things like that. I mean, that was one of the main focuses, like you said, and kind of the whole concept of Bigfoot was sort of a way for them to do that too. Because I mean, kids are like, what is that or whatever, their curiosity, and it's such a great learning opportunity for them too.
well, I think the other thing is that when you are learning about things in nature, then you're going to be more apt to take care of nature.
Hmm.
And it is Earth Day, people.
Yes, happy
So
Earth
happy Earth
Day.
Day to everybody. But even in that, I think it becomes that philosophy as well, is that if we're out there looking for something in nature,
Mhm.
then I feel like we're going to be more apt to take care of nature, to take care of those habitats for those animals or those things, maybe those undiscovered things we don't know about yet.
Mhm.
But I think that ties into that as well. And when you talk to them, whether it was Russell or Ronnie or Renee or Ken, they're all about the nature piece of it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Being out in nature, what that feels like to them, because it's much more than looking for Bigfoot, you
Mhm.
know.
We're not just connected to one another. It's that connection of nature too, because it's inside of us. I think that we have that draw and should have that connection.
And I'm going to tell y'all, Christy, now if y'all have been listening to this podcast for a long time, this girl don't talk much at first.
Still finding my voice.
Yes, but I'm going to tell you something. She may not have her person voice, but she got her Bigfoot called down because for the first time, Christy participated in the Bigfoot
Squatch Call.
Squatch Call,
The Squatch Call contest, yeah.
and she took third place.
Oh, well, not too bad.
But what was that like for you? Because you were normally this is not something you would do.
No, but I've tried to step out of my comfort zone and do some of those things, and I had wanted to do it last year and it just didn't work out as far as scheduling because like we said, we were so busy trying to figure out where we wanted to be to catch certain events and that. And this year I wanted to do it. And I thought, I'm gonna get up there and try it out. And it doesn't matter because this is all for fun. And
Nobody knows what Bigfoot really sounds like anyway, so it could be anything. Which,
exactly.
if you watch the little kids, they had the Squatch Call with the little kids
Yeah,
too.
they had the kids
Oh my
division.
goodness, freaking fabulous!
Yeah, and all different kinds. And that's what's cool because you can do whatever kind of shout out you want to do.
How little did I know when I'm here in the office? It must be on Wednesdays. She's at home practicing a Squatch Call. Squatch Call. I did not know this, people. It was great though. And if you want to hear her Squatch Call, we're actually going to put a reel on of the Squatch Call on our Two Girls in a Pod Facebook page.
Mhm.
So you can go and check it out there, which I think is it was fun.
Informative instruction on how to find Bigfoot. Do your Squatch calls.
And then listen, people, if you want to, then you practice all year. They have this every year. Hopefully it is going to be every year.
Yeah.
And you get it, like I said, you're going to meet all these fabulous people anyway. But you get to get out there and do your Squatch Call and do stuff like that. And at the same time, explore Estes Park, which is, like I said, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And it has just an amazing feel, you know. But in all this, it got the conversation started with us about finding your tribe and realizing that we don't have to just have one tribe. We have many tribes for all of the different things, like if you're a bicyclist enthusiast, you're not going to go hang out with runners.
Mhm.
That's not going to be your tribe.
but engaging on that level and what it does for you as a human being and how it helps you to find your voice about things and become the person you were meant to be.
Exactly. And I think the other thing that it helps to understand is that we're not one-dimensional or two-dimensional. We have so many interests and so many likes and all of these amazing and wonderful things. And that if we just stop and don't get so caught up in our thoughts and in our head, because we get in the way of ourselves all the time, on a continuous basis. And that's why we don't try the things. And, that's why I was so grateful you tried the Squatch Call. And the ladies we met, the indigenous ladies we met from South Dakota and one in Denver and the other one back east, I believe. I can't remember where she's from, but it was so cool because, even in that time we met them, when we went and I said, oh, she's going to do the Squatch Call. And they're there, oh my God, we're going to be there. We're going to cheer on. And they were.
They did.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about finding your tribe. Those people that are going to, we don't, hopefully we'll stay in touch with them. We exchange some numbers and stuff. So we really want to stay in touch, and a big shout out to them for being so great and hanging out and talking with us and sharing some stuff with us, and then supporting you in your Squatch call.
Yes, I really appreciate that. And it sounds like they work in the Department of Agriculture or something too. So
Yeah.
that's really cool that they got to be there and be a part of all that and talk about what they do too.
And I think the other thing is understanding that that's only one part of, even like when you're talking about Renee Holland and Russell Acord and Ronnie LeBlanc, this is what they do, but they also do other things. They have other interests, and they, whether it's environmental or whatever they're out there doing. So once again, it's many tribes, and stuff like that, and that they can all come together, and this is that commonality in that instance, but so many other things. And so finding those people that lift you up is basically what it is. When we talk about finding your tribe, it's really about, I think, those people who encourage you. We've been fortunate since being in Springs. I feel like we have our tribe. We have a group of women that they're also called therapists, but they're fantastic, and we love it, and we love that, and we try to be diversified. Our friend groups are really diverse, and the reason why is because we really do our best to accept people wherever they're at, and whatever they believe or aspire to be, or whatever that is, that's about them. And our job is just to be present with people and to encourage people. It's not to judge them or to say, we can't be friends because you believe this way or that way, or you don't believe in Bigfoot. Well, he can't be your friend. No. I don't even understand those words. No. No, but do you see what I mean? And I think that's kind of the cool thing, is I think we really did come to that conclusion that it's not about we don't have to be so totally like-minded. We have to be open to listening and to learning.
Yeah, I would like to think that, even if the whole Bigfoot thing wasn't a fascination, I would like to think that I could go to something like that and learn something and, be open-minded enough and, realize these people are sharing experiences that, like I said, it can be intimidating to talk about. So, I mean, just finding that kind of support.
And I think that's what it is too, because I remember, when we went last year, and Dr. Maria Mayotte was there, and she talked about that, and about, because she does work with primates, and she didn't want her reputation ruined by going and doing this. And of course, then talk to Dr. Jane Goodall, and if you get the okay from Dr. Jane Goodall, you go do it.
Yeah.
But once again, that the science piece of them wants to say, well, I don't want to participate in this because I don't want to become a joke in the science community. How sad it is that even in our sciences, we don't understand that we can embrace a lot of different things.
And that we don't understand everything. You would think
Exactly.
they, of all people, would know that.
Well, and that's what I love about Renee. She calls herself a skeptic. And she does this great job of explaining why what a skeptic is for her. And as scientists want to have the evidence to support, that's the whole premise of science, is you keep doing and you keep testing and you keep redoing and you keep retesting to find out, is this is there a really good correlation?
And
Okay?
well, and she also brings out the difference between being a scientist and a cynic, a skeptic versus a cynic.
Cynic. So I think those are the things that was really cool about it, is because I think you can still maybe not believe in something or be a skeptic, because as a skeptic, you just might think different. But it doesn't mean you're saying, I'm not believing what you're saying. It's just saying I'm holding true to whatever that belief is. And I think I think all of us in some areas are skeptics.
Mhm.
But if I'm a skeptic, I don't have to become a cynic.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, there's big difference. She explained that.
Yes. So I'm telling you, if you want to know more about that, she is on TED Talk, and she does talk about that.
Yeah.
So you can go kind of Google TED Talk and Renee Holland, and she does a really great thing. And I think to me, why it resonated was because even as a skeptic, she is not saying, I don't believe what you've seen and what you said. She knows that is their experience. As a skeptic, she's saying, I just want more.
I
I
want that
want to have that
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
She's not saying, I don't believe it. She's just saying, where's the evidence to it? And I understand that.
Mhm.
And I think that just beautifully put.
Mhm.
But I think what that does is it also shortens that gap that people would have if we have that understanding that it's okay for people to have different thoughts, ideas, and ways of looking at a situation. Because sometimes multiple ways of looking at something is actually better for us than one path. Because then we're not challenging ourselves and doing all of those other things that I think are relevant for our emotional growth.
Well, that's why I feel like it's really important to share stories in that, because when you hear other people's ideas and perspectives on things, I mean, it just opens your mind to be able to maybe look at it from a different angle and have a better understanding of whatever it is.
And I think too, when you look at those things, your tribe, you're going to find that even within your tribe, there will be people with maybe religious differences, political differences, environmental differences, Bigfoot differences, whatever it is.
Mhm.
But it's not the difference that pulls us together. It is our commonality. And so if we would stop focusing on how that little piece that we're not alike, and focus on everything that we are, but then stop talking long enough to listen to somebody else explaining why they believe they are, and remembering that's their personal journey. It's not my job to take them off their path or do that. My job is just, as I think everybody's job, is to encourage people to be the best version of who they are.
Right.
I don't have to like everything about somebody. People don't like everything about me. You're supposed to say that's not true.
Whoops. I missed my cue.
Okay. That kind of hurt me right here. Give me a minute. No, but that's what it is. It's really looking at that, and it's taking away color, religion, um, politics, any of those things. And I think it really is shifting that focus. And when we do that, I think that we then can become active participants of many tribes.
Looking at humanity.
Absolutely. And for us, and I think even on this podcast, which has been a very fascinating thing in our growth and development of this, is that it is through the personal journeys. It is through people's personal journeys and learning about those journeys. And sometimes, where they're like, okay, well, I don't know about that. But every single interview we have done, I have gained information and knowledge, and I have such gratitude. And I know we have gratitude for every person who has been on this show, sharing their personal journey, because if it resonates with one person, it makes one person feel like, oh my God, yes, that is me. Or yes, I can relate to that. And they can be successful. I can be successful. And I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And we talk about this often, about why Two Girls in a Pod, when we started, was very much more mental health. And if you listen to our older episodes, which I think you should, because I think they have some really good information. But what I think, though, is even through this, it's been about an evolution.
Yes.
And we decided at some point that everybody had a story, because we have a story.
Mhm.
You know, when we don't have guests on, we're sharing our journey with people and how we got here. And those little tidbits or those little nuggets we've gotten along the way that have really inspired us. And sometimes it might be from the stranger in the store or wherever it is.
Mhm. It's true.
I know. I'm getting a lot of so I always got to give her a hard time. But now if I tell her, hey, go on ahead, Squatch Call, she might do that.
Oh, yeah,
But don't you agree?
I do.
Did you think when we switched it to just to more of the journeys of people and of ourselves and did you think like you would learn not learn so much because I think we thought we would learn, but what has that been like for you? You know what I mean?
Well, it's been, I feel like, an evolution, not just of the show itself, but of myself. You know, what I mean, I think that hopefully that's what we're all aspiring to do anyway, is have that personal growth. And I really feel like that being a part of this has helped me to do that. And it has been through all of these stories that have been shared with us and making these connections with people. And, you know, just hearing what they have to say. Like you say, I mean, differing opinions or all of that, but just giving them a platform to come forward and share their journey. I really feel like it has been a positive in our lives.
And it's really interesting because, you know, I think when we told people we were going to do a couple of interviews with people about Bigfoot last year, they were there like, hmm? And then I explained to them, I said, it's the story. And then when those people listen and they were like, oh my God, that was really fascinating. I had to listen to that twice
Mm-hmm.
because of some of the information in it. They finally, and then they understood it and we got some feedback and it was like, I get it now.
Yeah.
Their story, it captivated me. I don't necessarily believe in it or know much about it, but it was the story and the journey of those people. And why does somebody become somebody who believes in Bigfoot? Sometimes it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
There's an experience that happens that is so pivotal in their mind, and that experience shifts their path.
Changes them forever.
And if you haven't listened to Ken's, his was that way. And Lori Wade was another one we did an interview with, and hers was really Tanner's Heart. It was really about how that Bigfoot and her son, who she lost. And so those are the stories. It's not just about people out there in the woods, you know, doing wood knocks and calls, and
Yeah.
it's so much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
These people become like family to each other.
Yeah.
They have causes, they use their platform to propel and to help other things. So it's so much more than
To
that.
better our planet and to help people, and yeah.
Educate kids.
Yes.
So it was such a profound weekend for me, and I feel
Mhm.
like for you, and we were so present in so many things, and so it just resonated with us, and that's why we wanted to share that. But also just I feel like we found a tribe, and these people have been so welcoming and
Mhm.
just absolutely fascinating. And I just loved being around that many Indigenous people and listening to their stories, and you know, just this amazing feel about it. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Very similar to how I felt when we went to Antelope Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, that was another thing as far as the Indigenous piece of it. So I guess for today, we're encouraging people, find your tribe. And sometimes you may not even know it's going to be your tribe until you get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself. If you find those interests, we talked about that the last time. Get an interest, and from that interest, you find a tribe.
Exactly.
So what you gained from that is so outweighs that fear of trying something different.
Mm-hmm. And it might be just doing a Squatch Call. You never know.
You never know. This might be her new job.
The gal that was next to me took second place. She was from right here in Colorado Springs too.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
She had a set of lungs on her
She
too.
did.
But the guy who won, he was pretty awesome. His was actually vibrating off the mountain. Sounded
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Next year, keep your ears open, eyes open, Bigfoot Days,
Yeah.
Estes Park. You want to find a tribe, man, there you go.
Yeah.
They're very warm, opening, and just very accepting of people. So it's fantastic. But once again, find your tribe. That's the message. Find your tribe, not just one tribe. Find as many tribes as you can. Find those people that elevate you to that next level
Yes.
and believe in you and encourage you, and you share ideas. And sometimes even in those differences, know that it's okay to have those conversations and to expand your mind and once again, it really is about just becoming a better version of who you are.
Right.
And as always, you can find us
On twogirlsinapod.com, and you can also go to Adventures of Two Girls in a Pod Life's Journey at
on YouTube.
YouTube. We have various clips on there, some shorts and things like that, if you want to check out some different things. But you'll also find this podcast there. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram.
All
Check
of
us
your
out,
little subscribe,
and
follow.
wherever you get your podcasts,
We are there. Real quick, the short we just did, because if you listen, I love my mixology, having a mixology on there. This one in honor of the Godfather.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
The
fun.
Godfather Mixology. Go check it out on Adventures of Two Girls in a Pod Life's Journey on YouTube.
As always, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you out there who listen to us and are loyal to us. You are our tribe, and we so greatly appreciate it.
Yes,
thank you so much. And we will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.